go around and I'll just go through everybody that I'm seeing here on my screen. So Leah at Delia, would you like to go ahead and just start off?
Okay, well, we've been trying a bunch of different kits. The one that I have been working with it's called, one of the things that brought this kit about was I had a student come up to me and say, you know, Mrs. Hunter, I so miss coming to the library and crafting with you and doing all those cool crafts. I mean, with the pandemic, I've really missed not seeing you and not hanging out and doing that. So I thought, well, gee, you know, that's kind of true. And maybe during this pandemic, there is an outlet for us to be able to do some things. So we did some online crafting programs, but we had to be really limited in what we did because people had to have the supplies on hand. So that kind of limited it a bit. So how this morphed was into a kit that they could pick up, take home. We would do a virtual component where I meet with them in a virtual meet, and using their kit items, we go through and we make together the craft. So the craft that we were making this week is this little Easter basket. And the one we'll do next is these little sun catchers, mason jar lid sun catchers. So I started doing this back in, I guess it would have been September. So what we do is we send out a sign-up sheet saying what the craft is, the date to sign up, and we have people sign up. I post it online for people to sign up, and then I also take it to classrooms so that students themselves can sign up. And so for the basket kit, the main thing is to include the supplies they're going to need. So the basket template that they will cut out and trace onto their brown construction paper. So we've included the brown construction paper. Then green construction paper so they can make their grass for their basket. Then we included an egg template for some white eggs. And what they're going to do is they're going to do 3 different types of eggs. So we've included white crayon so that, white crayon so that they can do the wax part and then try to do color resist. And I included some paints and paintbrush inside the kit. We included some little plates so that they could use their coloring and their paper. I included a little piece of sponge because the other egg they're going to sponge paint. And then I included a sort of a sheet that tells them what's included in the kit. So it has our virtual link and at what time we would meet. It says some items that they would need to gather. So things like scissors, a glue stick, a pencil, and a small container of clean water. And then I put inside what's supplied in the kit. Then because not all the kids who sign up could make the virtual meet, I wanted to make this so that parents could sit down with their children and do these. So I included instructions, step-by-step instructions as to what we're going to do. And then I go through those instructions on the virtual meet. And then I include pictures so they know at each step sort of what it kind of should look like. And then I ask them at the end, once they've finished their project, to post it on our Facebook library page so that the community can see that, you know, our kids are being creative and that they are participating in things during the pandemic. I think telling that story is really important. And we noticed when we did our needs assessment for our strategic planning, that was one of the things that the community came up with, was that we were the only ones out there doing any kind of programming for kids at the online. And so, you know, it's good that they know that. And that came from not families, that came from some seniors that saw the projects posted. So that was kind of awesome. I did a heart wreath with, different colored paper and ribbon. We did snowmen in the winter time. So just crafts that we wanted them to be fairly economical, because with the pandemic, we were trying to save some money because fundraising has been a little bit more difficult to augment our budget, but things that we thought kids would get excited about. And so when we saw what was happening with these to-go kits, one of the areas that we felt that we weren't reaching out to were seniors. And so in some conversation, one of the things we did is we contacted our seniors during the pandemic to talk with them about how's it going, what do you need, what can we do to help you. And one of the things that they talked about was that, they just felt like they were in ruts a little bit, and that they didn't know what they should be doing, what they could be doing. And so our senior wellness kits became a thing. So we decided to put out a seniors wellness kit, and we felt that it not only was it a great way of providing programming to that age group, it also was a great outreach, because in each kit we included our e-resources and what things they could do online. And that stemmed a lot of people calling and saying, well, can you get me set up? Can we do this? Can you show me how? So that, generated a lot of reference that we weren't really sure of. So in our wellness kit, we wanted to have some games, some activities, maybe a craft, some cooking, some fitness kinds of things. So I'm going to show you the one we did for March. And in March, we put together a word Scrabble for them to do, because we want to build their brain power along with fitness. And so for the fitness component, we did best chair yoga. So we gave them pictures and a description about how to do some of these yoga moves. So we were thinking physical, mental. We wanted to challenge them with doing something different for cooking. So we did a Dutch oven, no knead crusty bread. And we included yeast, because we knew that yeast was one of those items that they might not have on hand. So we included that. We wanted to give them a fun activity. So we did the 5 senses nature scavenger hunt. So they had to go for a nature walk and see how many items they could find based on their senses. So something a little bit different. And it's kind of targeted. One of the things that we found in the pandemic that people were talking about was, meditation and being in the moment. And so that's why that 5 senses nature scavenger hunt was kind of that, bringing them to mindfulness as they walk. They're just not going for a walk. They're being mindful of what they're doing. And of course, we had to have something fun. So we did coloring sheets, and we included of course, some nice colored pencils with that, because maybe not everybody at that age group has those anymore. And we always include a little treat. So in this one, we included a wrapped toffee. So nothing really expensive, but we were really trying to target what we wanted to include in these and to give them things that they could grow on. And these became really popular in the winter time, because people, I think, were looking for things to do besides watching TV. And so these became, lots of people enjoyed these, and we got great feedback about these. And they could do it on their own time. It wasn't like they had to register for, sign up for a specific time, anything like that. Something else we have been busy doing is making maker space takeout kits. So this is one of the ones we did with snap circuits. We just used these U-line boxes because we wanted them to be lightweight. And if they get looking ratty, we can redo them. So we just decorated them ourselves. And inside, we included component parts. So here's everything that's inside it. We put a little sheet inside saying, here's some things you might want to look for safety. We included the instruction booklet. And then all the items they would need in the kit to build the different things. So we sort of targeted youth in these kits. So it was more youth that we targeted. And I was just saying to Kaylee, I think in the future, what we'd like to do is some of these for adults. Now they're a little more expensive to make, but I think it's one of those things. We've had adults say, well, that's really cool. What do you have for adults? And I thought, yeah, right. Maybe that's a really cool thing. And so one of the things we also did during the pandemic time here is we put together what we call bundles of joy. And so what we did is we just put together a bunch of things that we thought people would enjoy doing, like puzzles, and like we have a puzzle library. So we picked out a puzzle and we picked out a DVD and we kind of themed them if we could, but it was kind of nice because people could just contact us and say, I'd like a bundle of joy for this day. And we would put it together and have it ready for them on curbside pickup. Worked really great. And we'd also include our brochures for our online stuff too. So it was another great way of having outreach without, safely. So that's what I have to add today. I'm really excited to hear what other libraries are doing, and thanks for the opportunity to share.
You're amazing. Amazing.
It's fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leah. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yes, and so we do have that folder in the common drive. If you're comfortable sharing like some of your instruction sheets and stuff, that would be fantastic. And next up on my screen is Rose. Rose, are you just viewing or do you have things to share?
I've got a couple things to share. I absolutely agree with Leah about including adults. Do you remember all those years ago at Bighorn Library, I used to do sleepover at the library, and all the adults used to sulk and they'd say, why don't you have a grown-up sleepover at the library? But, that really didn't seem like a good idea, honestly. I've done lots of similar kinds of stuff. I have a very specific patron group now working out on the reserve, and they've been like really locked down, much more locked down than any other part of the province, I think, because they had a lot of illness, and just because of the way things are done on the reserve, they were able to establish all sorts of much more strict rules. And so that's what they did. So it's almost all been virtual. I did go out to the reserve in the summer for summer reading program, but I didn't really see any kids. So I used the bags that came with the summer reading program, and I filled them up similar to what Leah did. They got crayons and pencils and markers and a sharpener and a bundle of paper and coloring pages. The one thing that I did do that was a little bit different was this is a word search. That word at the top is Wodejabi, and it means the four-legged animals. And it's all also other words in the Stoney Nakoda language. And I used puzzlemaker.discovery education to make it because they have the ability to include circumplex codes because the language is a little bit different if you're doing Stoney Nakoda. And like for a little while, I saw Jen from Bighorn here, but I don't see her now. But there's other libraries that are near to reserves that might be able to use something like that. And I did have, I made the puzzle, then I had to go and visit an elder to ask if it was appropriate. And they actually sent me back to include the circumplex codes because the way it was printed wasn't appropriate to the language. So we switched that up. And then they've been really popular. I've given away a ton of those at the schools and stuff like that. And I've been working closely with Stoney Education Authority because they're all virtual. All 5 schools have been almost entirely virtual this whole school year. And so every week we have a Facebook page called the now I can't remember. I think it's called Stoney Library News. Oops, sorry guys. I have to just shut that down. So Stoney Library News, and I post, remember all those years I did videos for Bighorn Library? I'm still reusing those. So I post one. I'll do an Easter one this week, and I put up ones for Valentine's and Christmas and Halloween and anything else. And the only other thing that I've done, which might be interesting, is I've done 2 videos we're calling book cook videos, where I pick a book and then I pick a food that's in the book and I make the food. I haven't done a lot of them, more of them, because it's expensive. It takes a lot of hours and I only work part-time. So squeezing in enough time to do another video in a half-time position is not easy. But I expect we'll see some more of those because they've had a really good response. People like it, and it could be for adults or kids and adults working together, because cooking is a really fun activity to share with your family. And really, that's about it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Rose. That's excellent. And I hope you're willing to share your word search in our little library of ideas there, because I think that would be a lot of fun. Thank you. Next up in order on my screen is April at Canmore.
Hello, everyone. It's really exciting to be able to hear other ideas. So I'm really thankful that you've put this together, Kaylee. I think it's really good, especially bringing the Marigold libraries together. I think that's important. So we've been strictly targeting adults in our adult activity kits. So I have about 6 of them, but I'll just quickly share the basics behind majority of them. So our first kit was our Christmas ornament kit. So the Christmas ornament looks like this when it's finished. So it's all from pages of books. So we chose actually a musical book about a composer so that there was no offensive language or anything like that, and someone couldn't read it and be offended in any way. But we included everything in the kit. One of our staff, Erica, put most of this together for us. So 50 pages of books cut out. So we did all the cutting for them. We included the ribbon, the little cranberries. A lot of this was obtained at Michael's on sale. Some of it was from leftover things we had in our own homes, etc. We included a paintbrush, Mod Podge. We found these great little containers for condiments. So Safeway was selling these, but I've since found them online on Amazon, 100 of them, which comes with lids. And we've used these for multiple kits. And the paint, acrylic paint, does not dry out inside of these. So we gave them 2 containers of Mod Podge to be able to use. We labeled everything as well. The balls originally look like this. They're just a plastic ball with the silver topper. And then we always include a sheet, that just tells who we are. We welcome them and thank them for picking up an adult activity kit. We put the instructions on the back. And majority of our funding for these kits has come from Gift Funds Canada. Somehow we received a nice, lovely check from them, whoever they are. I'm not exactly sure, but this check arrived at our library. So we decided to put these kits together. There's even a little piece of wire for them to tie everything together. And then we even included a little gift tag for them and did some embossing on it. And then the widget goes on the web page. So we do that in Library Aware. And then this was the kit that we realized we weren't necessarily doing a tie-in to the library. So all subsequent kits from this point on tie in with a book theme, a video theme, videos that we might have, anything that we've got in the library that we're using. So that's our Christmas kit. The next one that we did was, I wish I had some samples, but the Mandela rock painting. So I happened to be able to take a quick little trip to Qualicum Beach on Vancouver Island. So I found out, yes, you can indeed put rocks in your carry-on luggage. And so I scoured the beach and happened to run into a patron from Canmore who said, I think that's illegal. I don't think you're allowed to take rocks. And I said, well, I'm taking rocks, sorry. So I brought them back. So we include the instruction sheet for them inside. So anything I took offline, I gave credit to the libraries that I borrowed it from. So a full instruction sheet on painting Mandela stones and giving credit to the library down here. And then on the back, some patterns that you can use. So I'll include that instruction sheet. We made sure that we gave them visuals of some ideas. And then we included tools in the kit with them. We had multiple sizes of those plastic paintbrushes, which ended up having different ends on them. And then we included a dowel. My husband's a piano tuner, so I was able to get some dowels from him and Q-tips. But we also included an instruction sheet that gives them different tools around their home that they can use. Everything from ends of pins to pinheads, bamboo skewers, whatever it might be. And then we asked them, as Mrs. Turner did, Leah, thank you, to be able to submit their pictures afterwards. So they sent us pictures, and those have really helped with our library board. Our director makes sure that everyone is aware that these kits were put together. Someone even arranged the kit for us in a visual, and I said, you should be on our marketing team. So the paint for all the kits came from Michael's, and we bought the large acrylic kits that had 36 tubes of paint in them. And then we have many artists on staff, but one of our artists, she put together the tubes so that they were color coordinated so that everyone's rocks would look really nice when they were done. And we made sure everyone got black to paint the rocks and white as well. And then they were given 3 other tubes of acrylics, and everyone seemed happy. And then I printed out the feedback and gave it to our director, and that's easy for her then to receive the comments. She gets the comments and then gives them to the library board. So that's the Mandela rock painting. And then the one that we're working on right now, we've since signed up with Canva. So we're doing grow your own indoor pizza garden. So Canva is really lovely with their visuals, and it tells on the card that they're going to receive 4 biodegradable pots. So they get 4 pots. Then they get 6 little soil pods that when you put in hot water, then they expand inside your pot. And then they get, each of them gets a series of little labels. I just bought popsicle sticks and put the labels on, telling them what spices they're going to get. So oregano, sage, thyme, basil, and rosemary. And then I found at Dollarama just the little individual bags for the little tiny individual seeds. Thankfully, basil comes with this special coating on it, and the seeds are much bigger, but the tiniest one is the thyme seeds, and you can just see them in there, how little tiny they are. So we just had staff help put the kits together, and then they're given an instruction sheet, again, that tells them everything they need to know. So directions on growing your own herbs, as well as some websites. There's some great websites in Alberta, the albertaurbangarden.ca, and then growagoodlife.com. And then I included instructions on how to make their own humidity dome out of one of those plastic spinach boxes. And I wish I'd have gathered enough to be able to give everyone a spinach box, because I think I could have probably had people donate them, but during pandemic, we just didn't want anything coming into the library. So then, like I said, we started to do an attached book list. So I've just given them 6 books that are in track, and I let them know the website. We had a lot of issues over COVID time where people thought that the Camera Library website was indeed track.ab.ca. And they kept phoning saying, we can't find curbside, we can't find anything. So we've had to start redirecting people to the Canmore Library website. Some of the response was, oh, we didn't know you had a website. And we thought, well, isn't that interesting? So on a lot of things I publish now, I say, go to the Canmore Library website and choose track login. And that, I think, will remedy that situation a little bit. So that's our grow your own indoor pizza garden. And then maybe I'll just do one more. The gratitude, take care of yourself. So I did a kit that was everything you need to take time out for yourself, and called it a self-care kit. And this was in February. So I did snap a picture of it. We did not end up using this picture, but our Rocky Mountain Soap Company in town, they don't do donations. They give back to the community in many other ways. But what they did do was offer me a little bit of a discount on their bath bombs. So I was able to pick up 30 of those at a half price thing that they gave me. So then it included a hot chocolate, a chamomile tea bag, 2 little mints, a candle, 2 Hershey's Kisses, and then a set of positive affirmations. So I cut them out and put them in envelopes. And I just found these online, and they're absolutely beautiful. All about just, you are valued, you are loved, I'm a good friend, I believe in myself. And there's 45 of those. So I included those, and I did double side them, and then just cut them down to size and put them in a nice envelope. And then I included from the American Library Association their set of coloring pages that I think headquarters might have sent this out to us a few months ago, but they're beautiful, beautiful coloring pages, many of them with a library theme as well. So I'm finding all the ones that aren't necessarily library theme, but here's the lovely book one. And then was able to go to Dollarama in Calgary. Now we had, bought Dollarama to fill the pencil crayons that we would need for the kits. We actually had bought previously a large Crayola. I think it had 20 complete sets of colors, and I was able to get 14. This was when we were only doing 20 kits. We've since upped it to 30 kits because of the demand. The majority of the kits, when they're published on our website, what we do is we tie it in with our newsletter. In order to be the first to get an activity kit, you need to be a subscriber to the newsletter, because the newsletter comes out around the first of the month. Yeah, good thinking, Rose, you're right. So we were able to increase our newsletter subscriptions. Now, not just because of the activity kits, but last month our goal was 50 to increase by 50 subscribers, and we actually increased by 100 subscribers by Are You Feeling Lucky kit that we've kind of offered, where it's going to be a little gift bag. But I know the word has spread because of the adult activity kits as well. So to sign up for the adult activity kits, if you're signed up for the newsletter, as soon as the newsletter comes out, that's the first place where the kits are highlighted. So the kit that Venanti is going to talk about in a few minutes, that kit was gone in 24 hours from the time, and that was 30 kits. The board asked us to increase our kits from 20 to 30. So we did. And then just quickly back to the self-care kit, then I did bookmarks for them, just highlighting some of the books in the system that deal with self-care, taking care of yourself. And they were some of the more popular ones. I did a search by copyright date so that they were getting 2020, 2019, even 2018 books, but that was really good. I also did a gratitude journal kit in January, and I can include all the information on that. I won't take any more time. For May, we're doing 2 kits. We're doing a community collaborative puzzle. So on Amazon, it hasn't arrived yet. It should be arriving today or first thing next week, but it's a 48-piece puzzle. It will be 2 feet by 4 feet, giant cardboard. They'll be all painted, whitewashed white. Activity kit will be that there'll be a puzzle piece numbered on the back. They'll be photocopied ahead of time in case one doesn't get returned, then we can create a puzzle piece out of that. And we're asking the community, the theme is lifelong learning. And it's also the Cameron Public Library's 50th anniversary. I just suppose at wedding anniversary, isn't that funny? 50th anniversary this year. And so we're asking them to decorate the puzzle piece reflective of their lifelong learning, tying it in with the library. And then all of those puzzle pieces will be put on a foam board and displayed at the front of the library. And Amazon has some great puzzles that libraries have used just for this purpose. So a lot of my ideas I don't take credit for. I will gladly give credit to the Programming Librarian Interest Group. If you're not a part of that group on Facebook, oh my, you've got to get onto it, because they also offer a lot of their files up for grabs, and you can search within the Facebook page. So if you're looking for seeds or anything that I've mentioned, you can just do gratitude. You can do seeds, self-care, Christmas ornament. That's where that original ornament came. Somebody from another library posted the picture, and then I went on YouTube and found a quick instruction for how to get through that. But this has been really fun. The adults have loved it in the community. We used to ask them to sign up as they do for curbside with their library barcode number, and we found people were signing up for the kits that are not library members. And we thought, well, if they were coming to programs at the library, we don't require them to be members. So we took the having to include their library barcode number on there. It's just a name, an address, a phone number. If you go to the Canmore Library webpage under the calendar of events, we have, because of the way the calendar on there works, we feature the kit about the third Sunday of the month. So coming up here, you'll see the Grow Your Own Indoor Pizza Garden will be featured on the third, I'm saying Monday, I'm sorry, it's Sunday, the third Sunday of the month in April. And that way we can keep it open on the webpage for that full weeks. When you click on that, that's how you register for it. And the information about the kit is on there. I don't think you can go in and see past kits. I think once it's taken off the web page, then that information disappears from the web page. I'm not positive, but if you have any questions, you can email me at the Canmore Library, apost. My first name's April, last name's Post, P-O-S-T, apost@canmorelibrary.ab.ca. And then I'll include as many of these kits into Kaylee's Take and Go in the Common Drive.
Awesome. Wow. You guys, this is so great. I'm so excited. There's so many cool ideas. Carrying on, next on my screen is Venanti from Canmore.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here. And thanks, Kelly, for organizing the Zoom meeting for the kit, because I'm so excited to share about the kit, which says A Taste of India. And the idea suggested by April, and I was so excited to do that. But I was confused because there are many spices includes in there. So I was just wondering, like, how the kit will, how we are going to put everything in the kit. So because the spices are so complicated. So like with April's and my idea together, we started doing it. First of all, I selected the recipes which I like to share with the people, with the patrons. So I selected few recipes, and those recipes are like 3 of them I have selected. So one recipe is kind of a breakfast. It's upma. That's one Indian recipe. Then another one I shared is chickpea curry, and that's a main course. And then third one is rajma. That's the red kidney bean main course recipe. So first of all, I decided which are the ingredients we are going to use on all these recipes. So me and April, we kind of made a list of the ingredients which this kit includes, and list of the ingredients which they need to buy from the grocery store. And everything on here is available locally. They don't have to go like somewhere else, like out from Canmore to buy those. Everything was available locally. And so kind of we decided how many teaspoons of each spice we need for these 3 recipes. It was so interesting to find how many teaspoons of how many grams we need to put in there. And like April did all the mathematics, because I'm not good at all with that. So she did everything for all the mathematics, like how many teaspoons we need to include for the kit and everything. So, and I made a list of spices and their importance in Indian cooking. And the list is very interesting. We have almost 10 to 12 ingredients listed there. So including garam masala, bay leaf, turmeric powder, red chili powder, everything. Then we kind of make some Indian cooking books list, which is available on Canmore Library, and on Track, so that they get an idea if they would like to cook something else, they can do it. And another thing this kit includes is all the spices. So So we actually put all the spices in there, and we put the label, small label on there. If you can see, I'm not sure you can see it or not, but everything is on there. Like, it's self-explanatory. And April really gave me good ideas with that, because I was so confused with the kit. It was a little bit complicated, but it worked out really well. And we put garam masala. We had a little container with us, and we put garam masala in there. As soon as I open this kit, it just smells like I feel starts hungry. So it's really nice. Like, people really like it. They shared some recipes they made at home. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not sure if April would like to include something else, but it is so nice to do that with April. Thanks, April.
Thanks, Venanti. I'll just say that we had such a fun time putting those spices together. My
Yeah.
math skills were not 100%. For some reason, we ended up with 2 bags of coriander powder, and I don't quite know why, but everything else seemed to match out. We've been really blessed over COVID. We've had an Indian grocery store open up in Canmore by online only, but it's called Daily Needs Grocery, and they've expanded already. They've only been there a few months, my understanding, and now they're moving out to Dead Man's Flats, Rose, and they're got a larger bay at Dead Man's Flats opening April 1st, and they'll do free delivery in the Bow Valley. When I got from them, they delivered right to my home, was $5 delivery, and they sourced everything out. If I had one of the spices that they didn't carry or they were out of, like the fresh curry leaves. Venanti taught me that curry leaves are not curry powder. They're 2 total different things. And I was using a keto recipe that called for curry leaves. Thank you, Venanti. And so she brought me some fresh ones one day. And they're so easy to dry. You just take them off the stalk and lay them on a clean paper towel in a warm room. And here with our climate, they dry within 24 hours. So Daily Needs Grocery was able to go to Calgary and get me the fresh curry leaves. And I felt more comfortable giving them fresh, brand new curry leaves than using mine from home that I'd had for a few months. And everything, I hate to use plastic bags to put things in for the environment, but I haven't really thought of anything else right now. I guess I could have used paper envelopes for the spices when I think about it now, but I want to be a little bit more conscious about the amount of plastic being used. Our bags that every kit goes into the bag that Venanti had shown you earlier, which is our curbside pickup bags, and they are biodegradable, but they're not compostable. So there is that huge difference. So I guess as much paper as we can be using. Some of the programming library and interest group libraries, they'll use the coin wrappers for a variety of things. So when I think about it now, but sometimes you're on the fly with these, and Venanti did such a great job with doing this, but they do take, as you know, weeks to put together and weeks to create and all of that. But Venanti just did a fabulous job. And we asked people to send in pictures of their cooking, and a couple of people have done that. And then just the comments that we've received, people have been really gracious and thanking us for just giving them something different to cook. And it's been lots of fun. Thanks, Venanti.
Thank you. That's awesome. And I'm hungry now. Okay, so next up on my screen is Miss Barb.
Hello, everybody. I feel like I really don't have anything to contribute after hearing what you've all done. I'm exhausted and so grateful for everything that you guys are doing for your patrons and even in the case of Canmore non-patrons. That's amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to start by saying, and you probably all know what we have available currently to give out, and that's the spring kit. Fall kit really doesn't apply right now. The Mother's Day, Father's Day kits, and the teepee kit, the story robe kit, and what I wanted to talk about today is the Turtle Island kit. So the story robe, Turtle Island, come with books. Teepee kit, I think it comes with some information, but anyway, we'll talk about Turtle Island. Cute story, really, really enjoy it. And it's kind of interesting because people see it differently. So it might sound like some faraway island in the sea, but it's actually what some Indigenous people call the continent of North America. Because they see, so you see the turtle. If you look closely, North America is shaped like the turtle. Alaska, the Gulf of California, Florida, Quebec, and Newfoundland and Labrador are the legs. Mexico is the entire tail, since it's a long strip that goes down, and the head is none of it. It's just, yeah, it's a really cute story. Obviously, we can't give out the book at this point. I suppose we could send it to the library and have, you know, whichever library wants it, have a read. But we supply these papers with the information on them and this template. So basically the kids, I guess it could be kids, you could have adults do it too. It's a little template of the sea turtle's legs and head. And we supply the little bowls that they make the turtle. So here's your back. And then they can just color them. And it's super easy, but it's fun too. Like they could have the most creative looking turtles ever. So this particular kit wouldn't require, like you could just clip these, staple these two together. You could even staple the bowl on together if you wanted to hand out to the kids. You can give just everybody one. And yeah, it's just super easy. I put this little thing on that tells you exactly what to give the kids. That's the same for the story robe kit and also the teepee kit. It's just basically all paper. So as long as the kids have some glue at home, I mean, they could even staple the head and the legs onto the turtle if that's all they had. Some coloring, you know, whatever, they can do that. So the spring kit, and without Pinterest, I think I would be lost because I am not a creative person. And here is my job, and I have to put together these things. So yes, thankfully I have Pinterest, and I can spend quite a bit of time on there trying to come up with ideas. And yeah, the dollar store is a huge saver for lots of supplies. Yeah, so easy peasy, you know. You all know where you can get a hold of me. If you have ideas you want to share with me that you think maybe Barb, you know, you should do this for a kit. We're always interested. But right now with COVID, we are very limited as to what we can do for you all. But we're trying. And you guys, yeah, you guys are all amazing. It's awesome. That's all.
Thanks, Barb. That's what I love about things like this is it just gets your creative juices flowing and you start coming up with like new ideas that maybe have nothing to do what we talked about, but because it gets your synapses firing, all sorts of neat stuff can come of it. So that's everybody who I am seeing on my screen. Is there anybody who is joining us without video who would like to speak, share anything? Please feel free to unmute yourself. Okay. Are there any questions for any of our sharers today? Again, you can use the chat or feel free to unmute yourself.
I'll just say that I won't put anything in that shared folder because you all know how to get a hold of me for the kits that are already created that I could send you. I just would need to know kind of, well, y'all know when you want it and approximately how many kids you feel that would be interested in doing it. And Rose, I mean, like for me, it's just paper for like the story robe and, well, any of it. So.
I did want to say, I don't know if you guys are still doing the candy sushi kit, but I have done it with children several times. But the best time I ever had was when the Chiniki College teachers found out we had a candy sushi kit, and they said, well, the grown-ups want to do it too. And it was a fabulous grown-up program. This was all pre-COVID, of course, but when the time comes, don't hesitate to do an adult version of candy sushi. They like it a lot.
For sure. And it's funny, you know, when I do a big shop for my supplies, I get the strangest looks, like, because here I come with a cart full of candy and they're looking at me and I'm going, oh, it's for candy sushi. Oh, tell me more about that. Are you sure I can't come and do that? And it's, of course, all adults that are saying these things. So I can see that would be a blast.
I see Michelle has joined us here. Michelle, did you have any questions or for any of our sharers or comments?
Thank you so much for inviting me to comment. I've been listening and I've been inspired and I've been impressed, and there was kind of an epiphany for me, because later this afternoon we're having a nodes meeting, which is the first one in a long time, and I really want to tell my colleagues in Library Land that the meeting that we had today that was focused on a particular topic brought out the creativity and the cohesion, and I think it was just a marvelous example. So my thanks, sincere thanks, go to all participants. Thanks, Kaylee, for organizing it. Thanks for Barb for participating, and Rose and Leah and the wonderful people from Canmore. I'm so excited to hear the wonderful ideas that came from today's session. So congrats, and I hope we can get the word out, because this was awesome. Thank you.
It was great. I'm so happy because I wasn't sure how this might go, but this was perfect, beyond my expectations. So that's awesome. This session was recorded, so
I have to go.
We'll be sharing the recording with everybody. When it's ready, I'll send out information about how you can access the recording and information again on how to access the shared files. And yeah, I think maybe this was something really cool that we might want to try again in a couple of months, because there'll be new ideas to share. So awesome. Thank you for joining us today and for being willing to share. And I know everybody's going to go and do some really amazing things. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.